It seems like GM is heading for financial ruin despite the fact that its electric vehicle sales were bounded by 24% in the third quarter of 2022. Now, many fear that GM will go bankrupt again soon. Regardless, Tesla CEO and the world's richest man, Elon Musk, who can save them from failing, has openly declared that he would not take part in any decisions to help GM remain operational. But why is Elon Musk so against the idea? Does he not want the chance to expand his EV empire? Let's find out in today's video. Interestingly, all of it might have to do with Joe Biden's biased praises of GM. Well, it is no secret that Biden has a sweet and soft spot for GM. Biden has often asserted that General Motors, led by CEO Mary Barra, is driving the electric vehicle revolution in the United States. He must be joking, right? The serial entrepreneur Musk has never forgiven Biden for ignoring Tesla for more than a year, despite the fact that the Democratic president's environmental policies are consistent with the company's objective. Musk was irritated because Biden went so far as to say that General Motors was the top vehicle maker in terms of clean automobiles, despite the reality that Tesla is the world leader and GM is trailing. And rightfully so. You can't ignore the facts, Biden. Last November, Biden stated, "Detroit is the world leader in electric vehicles in the auto sector. You realize how important it is?" Biden even visited their plants and met up with CEO Mary Barra. Even though Tesla delivered almost 1 million electric vehicles in 2021, compared to fewer than 25,000 at GM, which had to halt production of the Chevy Bolt and Chevy Bolt EUV due to a safety issue. However, for some folks, this special treatment of GM by the US administration is not a surprise. The government has always favored the Detroit-based manufacturer. In 2009, GM reported one of the worst performances in US history. With those numbers, the company was forced to shut down shop. But what did the US government do? They swooped in as the knight in shining armor and spent $50 billion to help GM get back on its feet. While GM was able to make it through this dark time in its company's history, it didn't come without a loss of $11.2 billion in taxpayer money for the government. But hey, they saved 1.5 million jobs, so that should mean something. Regardless, the favorite child treatment doesn't sit well with most people, which is why Musk fires back at Biden. Nobody has ever been able to put Musk down, not even the President of the United States of America. Biden failed to invite Musk to a White House event attended by other US automakers in the EV business earlier in 2022. And guess who he praised at the event? GM, of course. He commended the company for making the largest investment in its history to build an EV business, creating 4,000 jobs in Michigan in the process. Of course, Musk couldn't let this comment slide. He shot back and pointed out how Tesla has managed to create 50,000 jobs, and that the company had invested more than Ford and GM combined. Musk also pointed out how Tesla produced 300,000 vehicles last quarter, while GM managed a measly 26. What did all this do? Well, it forced Biden to eat his words, that's for sure. Biden acknowledged Tesla. Still, Musk wasn't happy as he said that the praises came because of external pressures, which begs the question, why does the administration favor GM? Looks like we have a little union conflict going on. KISS frontman Gene Simmons' string of tweets attacking President Biden for failing to mention Tesla, a premium electric manufacturer, were not helpful at all. In reply, Musk stated on Twitter that he is able to keep the Tesla staff because the firm adequately compensates and treats its people. As a result, Musk claims he is unconcerned about unionization at his firm, but Biden praised Ford and GM's efforts to develop electric automobiles. And yep, both car companies are unionized. According to Musk, Tesla has not closed down on its Fremont, California facility and has plans to expand. The Fremont facility was previously represented by the union as a General Motors plant from the 1960s. But then, it turned into a joint venture GM-Toyota plant from 1984 until 2009. While Toyota sold the large factory to Tesla in 2010, it allowed Musk to begin production of its Model S electric automobile in 2012. Currently, no unions represent Musk's Tesla operations in California, Nevada, New York, or Texas. On that note, Musk thinks that the Biden administration has it out for Tesla after congressional Democrats pushed for tax breaks to give UA automakers with unions an advantage in the EV business. However, with Tesla not being unionized, they don't get to reap any of the benefits. Now, that doesn't mean GM is doing well with its unions. Here's a look at problems with GM unions. Musk has been a critic of the United Auto Workers for quite some time, and what do you know? He was right. For those of you who don't know, GM has been under fire for a multi-year corruption charge, bribery, and malpractices. To make matters worse, the investigations led to 15 GM employees in prison, and that's including 2 successive presidents of the company. However, Biden seems to still be favoring them, which is why we can't imagine the shock when his favorite automobile company announced its move to Mexico. Back in 2021, GM announced plans to invest more than $1 billion in Mexico. What's more, they'll be producing their 2024 Chevrolet Blazer EV out of a plant in Ramos Arizpe, in northern Mexico City. One of the tax benefits included additional $4,500 tax credit for any vehicle made in the US factory, but looks like GM won't be cashing in on that anymore. All this gives Musk enough reason to not help GM. On that note, why isn't GM winning the EV race even with Biden's stamp of approval? Well, here's the secret to Tesla's high-rated profit that leaves GM lagging behind. GM's net profit might seem like much, but in comparison to Tesla, they are absolutely nothing. Tesla CEO currently outsells GM 14 folds in the EV business. Now, this is confusing to say the least. Why do we say that? Because GM has more well-established processes in place, and they delivered more than 550,000 vehicles in the second quarter of 2022, while Tesla only delivered over 250,000 vehicles. So, what magic wand made Tesla so profitable? There are several variables, one of which is that Tesla does not spend any money on marketing, saving the company a significant amount of money. It has also boosted automobile costs in recent years. However, regulatory credits are a significant contributor to Tesla's present profitability. Automakers are forced to sell a set percentage of their EVs in California and 13 other states. If they don't, they must buy regulatory credits from other manufacturers who have an excess of credits. Because Tesla only sells EVs, it has a stockpile of regulatory credits that it sells to other automakers like GM. But other than this, the entire automotive industry has suffered from chip shortage, which drastically affected GM. If you have been keeping up with auto industry gossip, then you'd know last year GM was forced to park 95,000 unfinished vehicles. Still, despite these problems, Mary Barra thinks highly of GM. In one interview back in 2021, the company's CEO pointed out that even though Tesla owns 63% of the EV market, GM can still catch up by 2025. She even considers GM to be the US leader and number 2 in China. What did Musk do when he heard about this? Well, he simply took to Twitter and wrote, "Must be nice living in cloud cuckoo land." Yikes, looks like Musk doesn't have any high hopes here. Still, let's look at how is the coming year looking for GM. On one hand, GM has a portfolio of electric vehicles that will be available in 2023 and 2024, which may significantly expand its electric vehicle output. The Hummer EV has 90,000 bookings, while the Silverado EV has 170,000. Now, that's a lot, don't you think? What's more, GM intends to offer up to 175,000 electric vehicles to Hertz Global by 2027. Last week, the business had to cancel orders for its high-end all-electric Hummer after reaching its capacity of 90,000 orders. UBS analyst Patrick Hummel indicated that he expects the automobile business in the United States to remain difficult for the foreseeable future, citing record profits amid short supply and strong demand during the coronavirus outbreak. GM shares fell as much as 7.5% before settling at $37.68 per share. If this stagnant growth does not overturn itself, GM will find itself once again in deep waters of bankruptcy, with no hopes from the US government or Musk to bail it out. Do you think Musk is making the right decision? We guess time will tell, but if you want to see more interesting videos, click the video above. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on the most interesting Elon Musk news.